What's up, passionate Pokemon players? I'm Ryan, and we're here for another episode of the Hawks Pokemon Nest. Today, we're going to get into our next deck, which is the Team Rocket's Nidoking Nidoqueen deck. As a big fan of the two Pokemon, I'm excited to jump into these. So we're going to go over each card in the deck, why I included it, the strategy, strengths, and weaknesses of how to play the deck. And finally, we'll get into a couple other cards to consider swapping in or out. And there you see the deck list on the left-hand side. It is full of Team Rocket's Pokemon. It is full of Team Rocket's Nidoran evolutions, more specifically. So let's talk about Team Rocket's Nidoking first. So he is a Stage 2 Pokemon, an EX with 330 HP, nice on that. And his attacks are Tainted Horn. So your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, and during Pokemon checkup they put 8 damage counters instead of 1. So in essence, this is going to hit for 180, if not more than that, if the Pokemon stays in the active spot. So not bad. Then and that costs 3 energy. So it is kind of a lot, especially even then you have Kingly Impact, which does 240, pretty good, but costs 4 energy. So this one's not necessarily our main attacker. I think it is good for it, but in my opinion, I'm going to want to go with some other Pokemon first, but of course, we'll go through it. Okay, so then you have Nidoran here, Team Rocket's Nidoran. We don't have options for their evolutions because they have to be a Team Rocket, so you've got Pierce Hammer in, not really doing too much. Nidorino, of course, there. I really love the art on this. I think really underrated art for these. So then it's got Hammer in for 30, Hornren 60, and then it's going to do 60 more if they already have damage counters on it. Another one where you're really not wanting to do anything until, with these guys, you want to keep them on the bench, right? So then we've got Nidoran here, the female version, surprise attack with coin that does nothing. Now, this one actually is one, like if you really get stuck and you've got to throw something other than one of the final evolutions in, you want to get this Nidorina in with Dark Awakening. So choose 2 of your Dark Pokemon. For each of those, search your deck for a card that evolves from it and place that card onto it to evolve it. So that's really good. That's going to help us out. So I do find myself using this move a good amount of times. And then finally, we've got the Team Rocket's Nidoqueen. So this one, you don't really want to be using Mega Kick. You can. It's only 2 energy. But Love Impact is what you want to do. So if a Pokemon that has Nidoking in its name is on your bench, this attack does 120 more damage. So 180 damage for 1 energy. So that's why usually I'm going to be loading up 1 single energy on all of my Nidoran females, so that I can use either Dark Awakening or Love Impact. It's usually my priority to throw up there because this is only a single prizer. It does have 170 HP, which is solid amount. It's still oftentimes going to get one shot, but depending on what my opponent's playing, sometimes I can keep this out for 2 turns because it's got decent HP on that, so not bad at all. Okay, now let's go through the trainers. So I do have Buddy-Buddy Poffin, but I'm only going to go 3 of them because I've got some other ways to get these basics out there with our Team Rocket cards. And our trainers are going to be pretty full of Team Rocket cards, only a few other nons. I do have 3 rare candies. If you did notice, I've got actually 3 of every single type of the Pokemon. 3 Nidoking, 3 Nidoqueen, 3 Nidorino, 3 Nidorina, and then 3 of each of the Nidoran. So we don't necessarily need these, but we do want to keep them in there for sure, right? And I'll talk about why I actually have 3 of even the middle stage evolutions when we get to our A spec. But you can look at the list and see. Team Rocket's Transceiver, just a great card. Search your deck for a supporter card with Team Rocket and its name, reveal, and put it into your hand. So we've got all kinds of great supporters that really help this deck just flow quickly. Ultra Ball, Tried and True 3. Now here's our A spec is Grand Tree, and this is why I've got 3 of each, including the middle stage evolutions. This card is just perfect for the deck because we're swarming our bench, so then we're always wanting to evolve. We want someone ready. So the Grand Tree is just a great card here. Once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for stage 1 that evolves from their basic, put it on, and then if we need to, then we can do the same thing with the stage 2. So we could go from stage 1 to stage 3 in a single turn. So I love this card. I mean, it kind of goes around rare candies. And then once I kind of get all of my Pokemon out there, then I can just use a different stadium, which is going to be the Perilous Jungle. So this one helps out my Nidoking. During Pokemon Checkup, put 2 more damage counters on each poison non-dark Pokemon, yours and your opponent's. So obviously it's actually means that if your opponent poisons you, we only have dark Pokemon, so it's not going to do anything. But obviously keep that in mind. If your opponent is a dark Pokemon, it's not going to do more. But there's not too many people playing those right now. I mean, it's not going to work on Charizard, EX, the ones that people are using. So think about that, but it's pretty good. It eliminates opponent stadiums, and that can put your Nidoking up to doing 200 damage. So I like this one. Okay, then we've got Boss's Orders. I only threw 2 Boss's Orders in because I've got other options there, which we'll talk about. Then we've got Team Rocket's Archer. You could use this card only if any of your Team Rocket Pokemon were knocked out. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. You draw 5, your opponent draws 3. This is almost like a Dollar Tree version of Unfair Stamp, but obviously it's not an ace spec and you can have 4 of them. So this is a pretty good card. I like using it to get my opponent a little bit more hand locked. They get 3 instead of 2 like Unfair Stamp, but that's pretty solid. Okay, then Team Rocket's Ariana. Now this one's my favorite one to use. I'm going to use this every turn if possible. It's just crazy. So draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. If all of your Pokemon in play are Team Rocket's Pokemon, draw till you have 8. So that is just crazy. With the way this deck is built, I find myself pretty easily getting down to like 4 or fewer cards every single turn. So I'm often able to use this card and just cycle through my deck. In fact, one match I cycled through so quickly, I wasn't even paying attention to deck size. I would have won I just needed like 2 turns to win, but I decked myself out. So this Ariana is really good, and you can pull it with our Team Rockets. Where the heck is that? The Transceiver. So it just gives us an easier way of pulling it, and we're drawing so much. As soon as you get that first one in hand, you're able to draw so much that we don't really need any other type of draw engine. We also have this one too to kind of shuffle if we don't have that in hand, and maybe we get that one instead. So really nice. I think this is just a crazy card. And then Team Rocket's Giovanni. So this one kind of acts as both a switch and a Boss's Orders. Switch your active Team Rocket's Pokemon with one of your bench Team Rocket's Pokemon. If you do, switch one of your opponent's bench to the active spot. So I don't have switch cards in there, despite having pretty significant retreat costs on both our Nidoking and Nidoqueen. So I just run 2 of these guys and then kind of treat it as a switch and a Boss's. Team Rocket's Proton. I'm running 4 of those ones. This is almost like a Team Rocket's Buddy-Buddy Poffin, right? And the cool thing is you don't actually have to put them on your bench. So if you go first, you could use this card during your first turn. And obviously it's not not a Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I was thinking, well, it is, but I was thinking about what's that old school card? That ticket. I can't believe it's blanking me. The one that let you put like 2 or 3 basics on your bench. So anyway. So what it does is you search your deck for up to 3 basic Team Rocket's Pokemon, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You could use this on your first turn. You could use it anytime. So really good card there, especially since we want to get all of our basics as quickly as possible, right? And then let's get into our energy. Team Rocket's Energy. We're doing this one as a 4 of, obviously. It can only be attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon. If it's attached to anything other than, discard this card. And as long as it's attached, it provides it 2 in any combination of Psychic and Dark Energy. So this one really helps like our Nidoking, who needs a lot of energy. We're ideally going to want to attach a Team Rocket's Energy and then a Dark Energy. That's going to let him attack once with its main attack. Let me go over to him, right? It's going to let him attack with Tainted Horn, not necessarily his main. If you get 2 of them on him, which I don't necessarily recommend, or 1 Rocket and 2 Darks, then you can go ahead and use his Kingly Impact. So not bad. And then finally, we're just going to go 6 of the Dark Energy. So we're going to get a grand total of 10 in there. Strategy, strengths, and weaknesses of the deck. So really, it's very simple. Is the first thing you want to do is just swarm and evolve. Get that bench. I don't really worry about like getting guys caught inactive too much. It has been an issue maybe one match for me, but I have enough like things to mess with my opponent that I might get them stuck too. So Swarm and Evolve, right? At least get 2 of each, you know, on there, including active, because you're going to want to make sure that they don't disrupt you by KOing your, like, really they're usually going to go for the Nidoran, the males, Nidorinos and Nidokings, because then your Nidoqueens are pretty much useless. I mean, you can attach 2 energies and still attack, but significantly less damage and a lot more cost. Like, personally, I don't want to attach a second energy to my Nidoqueen unless I really, really have to. Right, and then from there, I want my Nidoqueen to be active. I want to prioritize using her over the Nidoking for a couple reasons. Obviously, the first one is it's a single prizer. With her 170 HP, you know, she's got, if you think about 2 of them, it takes more attack power to knock out 2 Nidoqueen than a single Nidoking, just barely, but it's also a double prizer. She doesn't do, like, especially with Tainted Horn, like, she doesn't do that much less than him. So I just really like that. So I'm prioritizing attacking with Nidoqueen. And then it also gives you time to just load up your Nidoking. She only needs 1 compared to 3 to 4, or 2 to 3 if you're using the Rocket's energy, right? So that's what I'm going to do there. And then really just thin your deck and draw. Like, thin that deck out. Use your cards you don't need, so that when you're getting Iono'd, when you're getting, you know, whatever, then you're going to draw back what you need, including probably wanting to shuffle your deck with the Archer when one of your cards is knocked out. And then it really works. You could get yourself down to 15 or fewer in your deck pretty quickly, and then lower than that as well. Strengths, it has really good synergy in this deck. The Rocket Box, I guess maybe it's called in this one, I don't know, King Box, Queen Box, it works really well. In fact, like, I made very few changes to my initial list, which is pretty rare for me. I do a lot of testing and then make a lot of changes, but I created this list and it really just worked. I've been doing really well with this deck. Obviously, we're only a week into the new era, into the Destined Rival, so I haven't climbed the ladder very much yet, so I mean, keep that in mind as well, obviously. But it's been working pretty well, right? It's pretty hard hitting in many ways. I mean, you're not gonna like one-shot things too often, but for a single prize Nidoqueen, it's pretty good, and it's flexible. You can use either the King or the Queen, right? Now the weaknesses, it does need multiple stage 2s. We're running 3 of each of everything. So if you get maybe 2 of them prized of a single one, then that can give you trouble, especially if it's a Nidoking that's prized and, you know, they knock out your first one. You've only got a Nidoqueen, which is going to take a couple energy, so that's never fun. But that's not bad. Energy for Nidoking is also an issue, considering it needs 3 to 4 if you're struggling to find that Rocket's energy. But that's okay. And then I decided to go with no recursion, like, at all. So if they do kind of get you early and are able to kind of get some bench snipes in and knock out multiple Pokemon, it's going to be a struggle for this deck, and you're probably just going to lose. Some other cards to consider in this deck, I'd say Team Rocket's Articuno. If you're going to think about anything else, it should be the Articuno, which will really help you against like a Dragapult, right? Because it's going to put damage counters, which is an effect. So that'll protect you. You're usually going to have space for it. And, you know, I should probably just throw in 1 copy of this into this deck. I may even do it when I do the testing for the next video. I think I'm just going to throw in 1. I could eliminate something, maybe a Poffin or something. I don't know. I think that we should probably put this in the more I think about it as I was making this video. So Articuno, I'd put that one in. Sacred Ash, another great one. As I mentioned, you know, recursion being a problem if they kind of take you out. Sacred Ash is going to really, like, all you need to do probably is just use 1 of these. Shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. That's really good. So I'd probably maybe think about throwing a Sacred Ash in. I'm probably not going to yet, but you can. Big Air Balloon is another good one to think about. It's going to ensure that our Pokemon don't get trapped in the active. And then also, like, once they get some damage counters on, you could just easily retreat, especially our Nidoking EX. You know, he's got 3 to retreat. You could retreat for free, and then keep him and throw your Nidoqueen up and still be able to use her attack, right? So that's pretty good. Hero's Cape's another one I would think about, but I just like the Grand Tree too much as the ace spec. But I mean, a 430 HP Nidoking, or for Nidoqueen, she'd go up to 270, which kind of almost makes it worth it, but I feel like 280 plus is kind of the threshold for like getting one shot, you know, like there's a lot of 280 attacks, but so I don't know if it would really do us much good. The other one to think about is TM Evolution. I think the Grand Tree kind of does this as a multi-turn thing. And what else are we going to eliminate? You know, it's kind of the Grand Tree is 3, 4, 5 of these, however long you can keep that stadium card inactive against this one that's going to do it once. And we don't have a reliable way of finding it. Same thing with Grand Tree, but I think Grand Tree, once it's there, you're good. So I don't necessarily like TM Evo in this deck. Alright, well that's going to do it for this episode of the Hawks Pokemon Nest. Hope you enjoyed my Nidoking, Nidoqueen deck. We'll see if we can get some good battles in next time and do some good damage to our opponents. I'm excited for this. I love this deck. I'm definitely making a physical copy of this one as well, as a big Nidoking and Nidoqueen fan. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become part of the Hawks Nest. We're a fearless flock of fabulous folks who love to do what we love. I love making these videos and decks, and I am really enjoying the Destined Rivals set. It's kind of reignited me with all these great ideas. I've got a lot of good stuff. Next week, we're going to do, I'm thinking either Coughing, or I'm going to try out the Misty's deck. I've already got the Coughing deck made, but I'm going to test out Misty's too, and then we'll go from there, and we'll see what we want to do. You know, if you're not ready to fly out, though, that's all right. Just hit that like button. We'll show up in an algorithm near you in the near future. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this list. Is it going to be viable or not? What other decks do you want to see? But until then, we'll see you next time.